Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. This is for episode 6 now. It is called The Little Prince. Alright, and spoiler warning, if you guys have not seen this week's episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead, you want to watch it before you watch this review. So continuing along with Season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead, we just have 2 episodes left of this season, and then basically we'll get the trailer for the second half, and we'll get the trailer for The Walking Dead Season 10 pretty much after that. There's going to be a short break this year, they said, for Fear, and then it will be back, I think, in less than a month or so, something like that. It won't be too bad of a wait to see the second half of Season 5. And personally, if you guys have been watching my reviews this season, you know that I've been enjoying these episodes a lot. I really have really been having a lot of fun watching them through and reviewing them with you guys because this is actually something I would say that's totally new for The Walking Dead. You know, it's going to be difficult for them in the future to come up with completely new scenarios and new situations for these survivors. And I feel like the Fear team has done a really good job this year of bringing in something that's totally, completely different from anything we've seen before. Because if you count the number of seasons, we've had 9 seasons of The Walking Dead. We've had 4 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead prior to this one, so that's basically 13 full seasons of, the first couple were a bit short, but 13 seasons of the series. And then there was the Walking Dead comic book series as well, too, which ran for 193 issues, which, of course, ended this week. So there's been a lot of Walking Dead created so far, and it's going to be difficult for them in the future to come up with original scenarios for things that we've never seen before. And this is actually one of them, which is kind of cool. And it is realistic that without maintenance, your nuclear power plants and things that we have would melt down. You would get reactor meltdowns and this kind of thing. I got a Fear Season 1 shirt here before the series even ended. Warning, infected zone. So that's kind of cool. We have basically a radiation zone, which they are in and around, and there's pretty much no way for them to easily kind of get out of there because of the mountains that are in the way. And if they have to kind of maybe try to leave on foot or via a car or a truck or something, they might have to go through some areas that are badly contaminated, and then some of them might get sick and die, and that whole thing. So this one we get to see a lot of different little scenes with the different survivors here throughout the episode. We get to see basically a fun one at the end where Strand kind of comes in with a blimp, a beer blimp, which I thought was kind of funny and kind of just really out of place. But I did like how it kind of went from very happy at first and kind of ridiculous to very quickly them kind of sort of almost crashing the thing, and then a whole bunch of zombies surrounding them and them not being sure which ones might be radioactive and which ones might not. So it was pretty fun. So it went from kind of a very high moment to, a happy moment to sort of, kind of like, oh yeah, that's right, this is Walking Dead again. So that means that, within a few minutes they're having to scramble and do what they have to do. It was kind of ridiculous to see the beer bottle flying, but it made sense because that's kind of how they sort of set things up last season with, was it Jimbo? That was his name, Jim? It's just fun. And there's another good line for Sarah here in this one where she's trying to fix one of the planes, and she hopes that whatever came down and splattered on her was oil. So that was funny, and there are some good lines throughout the episode, but a lot of different things happening in this one. We have Alicia trying to fix the plane at first, and it's just not working. One of the propellers going flying off and almost hitting people and killing people. We have Morgan going to see Grace before she goes to try to prevent the other or one of the reactors from further melting down soon, to try to buy them some more time. We have the orphans, as I like to call them, which is Andy and Dylan and the others, who kind of take off, even though Alicia tries to give her sort of a compassionate, understanding pep talk, but it not working, so they decide to kind of run off anyway, which is what they do, which makes sense, because they've been doing that in the past before. So for them to continue to do that makes perfect sense, right? We have them watching a movie near the beginning. We have the protein bars, which is fun. It's kind of an Easter egg for old school Walking Dead fans. Walking Dead Season 6, when Morgan asks Michonne if she ate one of his protein bars. So, no, funny. So I like that. That was a kind of cool little Easter egg. So we'll find a way. We've got Morgan's speech because we've got each other. We can do this because we've done the impossible before. So they're grasping at straws here, and I do like that they're having so much trouble to kind of find a way to do this. Like at first they're like, okay, well we'll just fix this plane, and Althea can do it, right? And then she's like, does your heart know how to fix blah blah blah, whatever it was that she can't do it, because they're like Dylan and Luciana are totally believing that she's going to be able to do this. They're going to be able to fix this, and it's like, the thing's a hunk of junk, and there's all this circuitry and all this stuff that's, it's just like to ask her to have to try to fix this plane is like, it's just about impossible. At least with a blimp, it's something more. There's not as many moving parts. It's not as sophisticated. It's more kind of old school. So even though it looks ridiculous, it's something that could probably be easier to fix versus some kind of crash plane or something like that they're trying to sort of piece back together to get them over it without the whole thing crashing before they can make some kind of short landing and keeping everybody alive. So I do like that they kind of play with the idea of them trying to kind of get out of there and the little prince, but really that kind of being a little bit over optimistic and on both sides, and then really being like, this is impossible to try to fix. You're better off to try to go out there and get on the road and see if you can find one that's working than to try to actually fix one. I mean, it's just unless that was your job before the zombie apocalypse was like some kind, and even if it was, there's still going to be things that you're not going to know. It'd take a very rare person to be able to do that all by themselves by hand, and certain parts that you couldn't even probably find anyway, because they're a lot of times proprietary to certain models of planes and such, right? So it feels like it's almost impossible to do, but it is kind of fun to see it through, because I like the blimp part. It was fun. Strand kind of shows up with his blimp out of nowhere. So that's fun. So we've got all that stuff. We've got the oil one with Sarah, like I mentioned. We've got the story. So we've got June and Annie. I want to take a look at it. So Annie, of course, taking off. We've got the search for Sherry, which is also in this episode too. There's a lot of different things happening in the episode at once, which is not a bad thing. I actually like these type of episodes better than bottled off episodes, because it gives you a lot going on, a lot of progress in different sort of directions. And it is in episode 6, so we still have the 2 left, or we have the mid-season finale coming up, which should be, I would expect, and we'll cover this more in the predictions video for episodes 7 and then the mid-season finale 8, and them somehow getting out of there, which is what I would expect to see at that point. The mid-season finale is them either in the blimp or whatever they have to do, or maybe some other kind of way. If the zombies chew up the blimp or something, I don't know. We'll have to see if that thing's going to be intact after. But it is kind of bright and shiny, so it might be something that they might chew on or something. I don't know. So we'll see how they end up getting out of there. I do expect to see them get out of there, but again, this is in episode 6, so it might be a couple episodes until we see that. So we have Dwight on the search for Sherry, and we get kind of confirmation in this one that that she is actually, 100% leaving letters for him, leaving notes for him. We see the Ouroboros, is it? The symbol, and honey, and kind of a letter that she leaves for D, or Dwight as she called him. She called him D, but Dwight. And then so John lies about getting this letter from her to basically tell him not to keep looking, that he has to live his own life and stuff. And we also don't know how long ago it was that she left these letters around for him to go and find. So they go and they find this info. They also find a dead guy that she says that she had to kill, right? So so it's kind of cool. And then a place that looks like there's food and this kind of stuff there. And then she may have left after that. So they're close to finding Sherry. I'm not sure if in the mid-season, before the mid-season finale, they will find her, or if they'll find a zombified version of her. I'm just not sure, right? So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. I guess that one could go either way. It's a question also of whether or not they're able to get the actress to come back and do an episode or two, which I would hope that they could. I forget what her name is, who plays Sherry, but that could be really cool in a scene for Dwight. And also it brings in some problems if the rest of the group wants to leave and finds a way out. Dwight's probably not going to leave unless he's able to find some kind of closure for that. And so it's pretty tricky to want to talk him into leaving that place when there's all this info for her, and she could be close in the vicinity somewhere around. It's going to be tricky to talk him into leaving when he's so close to finding her at this point. Although there is the reactor and all the stuff that's going on that they do kind of want to get out of there because you don't know. And we also got the explanation from the orphans that their parents were actually able to kill off all the walkers that had overrun the camp. But the problem was that the radiation got them afterwards. They all got sick afterwards, and they weren't even able to. She wasn't even able to see them. So I thought that was good, and I think they've done a really good job of kind of using the radiation and the meltdown and this kind of stuff to kind of use it in a somewhat realistic way. I don't know how it feels about as realistic as you probably would kind of get for that kind of thing, because you have certain people that have been killed as a result of it. And you have them always kind of being in fear of kind of going to certain places because they're not sure, and you don't know if they could, somehow contract whatever it is the radiation could cause and cause them to get really sick. And Morgan says goodbye to his staff in this one, which is fun. And then he finds a new one, which is a mop. And a kind of a fun scene when Alicia's asking, like, are you okay? Because she's trying to get this mop. And then he gets it. And he kills a zombie in kind of fierce fashion afterwards, which is kind of fun. So let's see what else we got in the episode. So the helicopter, no way. So June basically knowing that Althea is holding something back and telling her that if you want to talk, you can come and tell her whatever she wants to talk about with regards to the helicopter and maybe confide in her a little bit. So that's good, maybe for later. And let's see. So we got all that stuff. And Dwight's mention of Daryl, that find her and make it right. And that's kind of a cool one because I actually had forgotten. I forgot the exact line that Daryl says to Dwight when he banishes him. He says something like that, that you go find her and make it right, which is cool. And he also says that she gave it all up for him, so she did everything she did, gave up the ring and everything for him. So it kind of makes it so that if he does find her, that it'll be a loving type situation. But I'm not sure for Dwight if that's his. If that's what we're going to see for him, or if he's going to find her in some kind of zombified fashion and have to be the one to put her down or something, we'll have to see. But also, I'm expecting to see some more with John soon. In that, eventually here he's going to have to give the letter to Dwight, or he's going to have to tell him that he found this, and Dwight's going to be pissed off, right? Of course, because he held it from him. Let's see. So we got all that stuff. The ending of the episode, it did feel, I want to say, maybe a little bit flat, but that's probably just because it's an episode 6, so they're kind of prepping us up for the next 2 episodes, which are going to be probably bigger, and especially the mid-season finale being the biggest one. So I hope to see Sherry before the mid-season, this half season is over. I hope we get some kind of closure for that. Either if he finds her in zombified fashion, fine. It can be like sort of a tragic, maybe if she was all alone for a year or 2 or something like that, if she committed suicide or something like that, and then he finds a zombified form of her, or just finds, her there, whatever. If she got herself or something, then maybe he can find her corpse. I mean, it's kind of brutal, right? But it could be kind of tragic irony in a way, kind of a Romeo and Juliet type situation where it's ironic that she leaves all these notes, and then if she'd have just waited, that eventually he would find her, and then he does find her, and then unfortunately by that time she's already, whatever, she's already gone or something. So we'll see. I mean, I'd hope to see. Fear has kind of been a bit lighter in the last year and a half or so since the new team's kind of come on. So like the lighter moment with the blimp here. So it wouldn't surprise me either if he finds her and she actually is alive. That could be really cool. And we can see kind of if that's something that's possible, that would be very kind of a happy moment to see, and something that, I feel like in this current direction of Fear it might fit, right? So we'll see. You guys can leave your comments below and let me know what you think, whether or not Dwight will actually find Sherry by the mid-season finale. Maybe we'll do a first Q&A on that this week. And let's see. So they didn't show up and all that stuff. Morgan says goodbye to the staff, like I said, and then the blimp scenes at the end in another way, and then Grace goes in. And that's basically, don't kill them. You have to kind of avoid them. And that's basically it for Strand and Charlie, who are somehow going to have to, do some good cardio running to run around all the walkers and kind of get out of there. Well, Morgan kind of goes in, and so does Alicia. So score for the episode, I'm going to give this one an 8.6. I mean, it's not really a spacer episode, but there's no big payoff in this episode just yet because it's building to the mid-season finale, which will have your, likely a big payoff there, either with Sherry or them leaving or whatever happens here. If they can get the kids, if they can bring them back, if they can talk Dwight into leaving with them, it's a little bit tricky to see how this whole thing's going to wrap up. But I would expect to see it mostly wrapped up by the mid-season finale. So that's my review. I enjoyed the episode as per usual. Looking forward to the last two for this half. Really happy that they did some new stuff with this half that we've never seen before, and just enjoying the fact that Fear the Walking Dead is even still on. Right? Like I said earlier this year, Fear the Walking Dead, it moved up the ladder without actually even doing anything. It's just the whole world around The Walking Dead changed, obviously, even this week. So Fear the Walking Dead has moved up several rungs on the ladder by having Morgan added, Dwight added, still having Alicia, Strand, and the others, and all the new characters they brought in, really paying off well. And then, other series taking hits or actually fully ending to the point where it's like you really appreciate having Fear the Walking Dead on more because now the Walking Dead comics are over, so you're not going to get those releases each month. So it's cool to have the original Walking Dead TV series on, and then to have Fear on as well. So I hope that it will get renewed for season 6. It hasn't been officially renewed yet, but I think it probably will. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, The Little Prince. I thought it was fun, and a lot of different progress and a lot of different little directions, and we'll see how it all culminates in the next 2 episodes for the mid-season finale. If you like this review, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left if you're new to the channel. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.